Good evening. This is All India Radio, Kohima. I'm Jonas Yantan with Evening News. The headlines. Second day of the budget session of Nagaland Legislative Assembly resumes today. Chief Minister Neiphiu Rio reiterates that resolution of Naga political issue remains government's top agenda. BJP nominee candidate S Phangnon Konyak files nomination for the lone Rajya Sabha seat of Nagaland. And Centre says states can run Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan schools in their own languages. As we start the bulletin, we appeal our listeners to stay safe from COVID-19 by following these 4 simple steps. Get fully vaccinated, wear a face mask, maintain 6 feet for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. And now the news in detail. The second day of the ongoing budget session of the 13th Nagaland Legislative Assembly resumed today. The session commenced with a question hour where NPF MLA Kuzolozo Nino expressed concern on Kohima Bypass Road, revenue granted through Central GST, State GST and Integrated GST, and works taken up under peg down from 2020 till date. Commissioner and Secretary NLA P.J. Anthony presented the assent of the Nagaland Governor to 3 bills passed in the previous session of the Assembly on fiscal responsibility and budget management, 4th Amendment Bill 2021, the Nagaland Goods and Services Tax 5th Amendment Bill 2021, and the Nagaland Lokayukta 2nd Amendment Bill 2021. Chief Minister Neiphiu Rio laid the Nagaland Motor Accident Claims Tribunal Rules 2022 and Rules of Micro and Small Enterprises Facilitation Council under the Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Development Act 2006, 27 of 2006. Chairman of the Committee on Subordinate Legislation 2021 to 2022, Dr. Judisa Sazo presented a copy each of the 76th report on the Nagaland Building and Other Construction Workers, Regulation of Employment and Conditions of Service Rules 2010 and 77th report on the Tribal Affairs Department Service Rules 2020. Chairman of the Public Accounts Committee, K.T. Sukalu, laid the 126th and 127th report of the Committee on Public Accounts Action Taken by the Government on the observations and recommendations contained in the 120th and 122nd report of the Committee on the CHA Report of India for the year 2013-14. Chief Minister Rio introduced the Nagaland Village and Tribal Council's 5th Amendment Bill 2022, while Minister for Soil and Water Conservation and Geology and Mining V. Kashiho introduced the Nagaland Groundwater Regulation and Control of Development and Management Bill 2020. NLS Speaker Sharingan Longoma announced that the consideration and passing of the bills would be taken up tomorrow. Later, the members took up discussions on the motion of thanks to the Governor's address. Meanwhile, Chief Minister Neiphiu Rio, who also holds the finance portfolio, will present the State Budget 2022-23 in the Assembly tomorrow. Nagaland Chief Minister Neiphiu Rio reiterated that resolution of Naga political issue remains the top agenda of his government. In his concluding remarks on a motion of thanks to the Governor's address in the State Assembly today, Rio said the state government has exhibited unity to form an oppositionless government when it came to the Naga political issue. Speaking on the remarks and suggestions by the members on the Governor's address, Rio said a committee headed by the Commissioner of Nagaland has been constituted to look into the desire of the people to create new districts for their tribes. Regarding the interstate boundary issues with Assam, Arunachal, Manipur and Myanmar, he said the government is taking things in a positive manner through proper negotiations and talks. On the issue of oil and natural gas exploration in the Assam-Nagaland border, Rio said that the state would take steps to seek cooperation from the centre and government of Assam. Rio said the ULB election will be conducted as per the resolution passed during the consultative meeting held on 9th March 2022. He added that the elections would be held as per the 74th Amendment of the Constitution of India. On the foothill area stretching from Nagaland to Manipur border, Rio said its construction has been delayed due to border issues and financial constraints. This news comes to you from All India Radio, Kohima. You can also listen to this news bulletin on News on Air app and YouTube channel AIR News Kohima. BJP's nominee Mahila Morcha President S Phangnon Konyak is set to become the first woman to be elected in the state's lone Rajya Sabha seat in Nagaland. She filed her nomination papers today in the office of the returning officer for the biennial elections 2022 at the Assembly Secretariat, being the last day of filing of nomination. Chief Minister Rio's State BJP President Demjan Imna Along and a host of party workers were present during the filing of nomination. After filing her nomination, Phangnon Konyak told media persons that she feels elated that her party, which always focuses on women empowerment, has given her the opportunity. She expressed hope to take the aspirations of the people forward in a practical way. Terming her party at the centre as very accommodative, she said that it will bring some practical changes in the state. Phangnon also said women in Nagaland represents around 50% of the vote share and has been very active politically. She said Naga women never contested for elections and this has been a barrier. However, Phangnon said she decided to contest and her party has been forthcoming to the decision. Stating that women are expert in electioneering, Phangnon encouraged the Naga women to come forward and expressed hope that the state will witness many women candidates in the coming election. The centre today said that states can run the Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan schools in their own languages. Replying to questions in the Lok Sabha, Education Minister Tramendra Pradhan said that states should allocate 40% of the funds on the school infrastructure, such as a library, laboratory, sports facilities and teaching aids. The minister said that 60% of funds are borne by the centre for these schools. Pradhan reiterated the government's commitment to providing quality education by enhancing the standard of education and school infrastructure in the country, including rural India. He said a centrally sponsored scheme of Samagra Shiksha has been aligned to the recommendations of the National Education Policy 2020. The minister said integrated in-service teacher training program Nishtha 1.0, 2.0 and 3.0 has been introduced under Samagra Shiksha for different stages of school education for teachers and other stakeholders. 5 new COVID-19 positive cases detected today from Dimapur have increased the total confirmed caseload in Nagaland to 35,466. The state's active cases stand at 37. With no case of COVID-19 recovery and death, the recovered cases remained at 33,187 and deaths at 754. The sample positivity rate is at 1.80%. Nagaland State Power Department has informed that it would install smart prepayment meters for all categories of consumers in a time-bound and phased manner. It, however, stated that in view of the above, those areas and consumers where post-paid meters are operational at present will not be brought under the ambit of commoditization of electricity till further orders. The department further informed that in compliance to the notification of the Ministry of Power, all government offices at block level and above and all industrial and commercial consumers will be metered with smart meters with prepayment mode by December 2023 and all other areas will be metered with smart meters with prepayment mode by March 2025. And now 20 news, here are the main points again. Second day of the budget session of Nagaland Legislative Assembly resumes today. Chief Minister Neiphiu Rio reiterates that resolution of Naga political issue remains the government's top agenda. BJP nominee candidate S Phangnon Konyak files nomination for the lone Rajya Sabha seat of Nagaland. And centre says states can run Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan schools in their own languages. That is all we have in this evening news bulletin. Good night.